Friends from Ankara. I am from Middle East Technical University, so we are going through a very similar path, just as you do. Also, like I am a student, but at the same time, I am an instructor, English language instructor. So I'm gonna ask a question from this my second identity, like for myself. So I was going to ask you kindly to elaborate on what you said before about like how to show resistance in academia as an educator, not as a student, but in the classroom we are bound to so many especially the dominant ideologies in the institution. So as a teacher, you have the fear of losing your job, or or any kind of resistance from your students. Sometimes you choose to be silent while you actually have lots of things to say. So can you please elaborate on this point of view from an educator perspective? Thank you.
It's such an important question. And I think education does not only occur in our lessons, right? It doesn't only occur in class between the bells, but education occurs throughout the relationships that we establish with our students. It occurs in the way that we take attendance, right? In the names that we use for our students. Are we respecting the ways that they want to be called? Are we using the pronouns that they ask for themselves? It occurs in the emails that we exchange with our students outside of class, right? Are we engaging them in ways that they find useful? And it occurs in office hours, in the conversations that we have one-on-one with students, or in small groups that might not include the rest of class. And I identify these moments because it's often in these exchanges that we're able to communicate with students the kind of information that's going to, one, remind them that we value them as they want to be valued, and two, that's going to give them the tools they need to continue growing into the kind of progressive people that we want them to become. I think, as I said before, in response to a previous question, there are going to be times when we can't say what we want to say or do what we want to do, right? We can't. If you were to lose your job, that doesn't help any of your students, right? And it doesn't help you either. If we can't, just as, if you go to campus and get harassed or worse, killed, that doesn't help you either, right? That doesn't change the culture. And so it becomes this kind of balancing act between doing what you're told to do because you have to do it, and finding fractures in the system where you can do the meaningful work that needs to be done. And so, for instance, if something occurs in class where a student says something that you want to respond to but feel as though you can't, there's nothing wrong with addressing that situation with a few students or with one or two students after class, right? Sending an email, or again, meeting with them during office hours, right? There are ways that you can address things that you feel need to be addressed without putting yourself directly in harm's way. And this is not to suggest that we are eliminating risk entirely, right? This is still something that could ultimately come back to hurt you, but it is mitigating the risk, right? It is a way of ensuring a degree of safety